Good evening, race fans. Welcome to PSGL's F11 Championship, where we go full screen and full throttle for your enjoyment. My name is Webbo, and I'm here to commentate over another one of our races for the F11 Championship. We've had some fantastic races so far, and we're going to the roller coaster of Zandvoort in the Netherlands. Looking forward to this one, guys. I hope you all are too. I'm properly pleased to welcome everybody who's joined us on the stream. If you're here to support somebody particular, let me know. Let me know who you're here as a fan of. It's round 4 of our championship, and currently this is headed by our Dutch driver who's going to be racing at home tonight, FaZe Max. He's had 2 wins already, and he'll be absolutely determined, I'm sure, to stretch out his championship lead at his home track. He's had 2 wins, and I think even 2. Let me see. No, just 2 wins, no fastest laps just yet. He's also had a 2nd place in France in between, so he's leading our championship, and Salad is our runner-up so far. Salad, I believe, is going to try out for a race after having to miss out last week. Salad in the Red Bull, obviously FaZe Max there in the Aston Martin. And then 3rd in the championship with the other win is Jibuk, who had a bit of a difficult time last time out and will be looking to make amends tonight. We then, in 4th place, is our Jibuk's teammate in the Mercedes, Huberto Mancini. And then we've got Florian Vapor Shadow Tsunoda, who's a reserve, who's currently lying in, I think, 6th place in the championship because he's been up and ready to race when others haven't. And Matty in the Alpine is next to him, and then Jimmy Allen and Yamo those are the positions at the top of the championship. Just to give you an idea of the constructors right now, it won't surprise you to learn that with 2 wins, that Aston Martin are at the head of the championship. Nearly all the points actually accrued by FaZe Max, so his teammate Panda will be looking to try and contribute a little bit more. Then comes Mercedes, Red Bull. The Williams team is next on just 17 points, equal with Alpine of Matty and Jamie. As you can see, the drivers just getting themselves prepared and ready. Some of them have readied up already. I haven't seen the notification for readiness, but I'll let you know as soon as I do. People are on their way. So, tell me your predictions for tonight's race. Do you have any inside information that I don't know? Peter, you could stick around and enjoy the race for now. I know it's not F1, but I think you can enjoy some F11, and I hope everybody else does too. We're looking for a good, strong race finish with everybody. Just the last few holdouts. It looks like the timer's going down though, so we will start, I believe, with 15 drivers. Everybody else readying up, and let's get to see just how the racing compares to the real life Grand Prix today. I won't issue any spoilers. I don't know if anybody's out there, but yeah, we're looking forward to this one as they tackle the several bank turns. KMHD is here for Tsunoda. Awesome, good to hear. So let's see if that support will help. I haven't seen. It's a shame that we didn't get Franco back. So if you were an original fan of Franco, I hope you've picked a new driver to follow tonight. I think Franco is going to stay with us, but he's not able to make it tonight. You can see on the graphic. Oh, Tsunoda has actually now joined as a full-time driver, I'm told by Liam. So that's good news to hear. But yes, the banked turns here, spectacular. multiple lines, especially in the game. A little bit more in the game and the lower series perhaps than in real life Formula One, and it's a little bit less bumpy, I think, than the real drivers discovered today. But yeah, hoping for a nice clean race. Let's see, we're about to get going. There's 3 drivers just holdouts at the moment. I don't know if their connection's a little bit off, but they're just assembling ready. I don't think they've readied up, so the timer will cut them off if they haven't yet. I hope it's not a race about survival, as one of the comments coming at the moment. I hope it's a race about strong pace. I have to say I disagree with Crofty, who commented over the weekend on the commentary that we don't want to apply names to too many of the corners because people will get confused about where they are on the track. I think the only way to fix people's confusion is to keep using the corner names, so that you will hear me talk about obviously Tarzan, but I think Hugenholtz definitely deserves a name. I think Masters and Shivlak definitely deserve names, as does Hans Ernst, because there's lots and lots of action that you'll see around there. We've got a couple of holdouts. So we might get some people leaving. Angus, you're not alone in the chat. I love F1 too. I've been watching it for far too long and far too fanatically. But that's what brings me to the game, and I'm sure many other people. I think we might have a couple of internet glitches, so let's hope we can get ourselves back racing pretty soon. Like I say, we've had some excellent races already. I think Yamraven has gone, sadly, and that has triggered everything to work again. I'd love for our drivers to let me know the weather, if they possibly can. We're in. We've had an instruction that we might head off, but I don't know if we'll just give this particular lobby a chance. FLXK said finally, yes, I hope so. The time has started already. I think we've got some action going on in the pits, some mechanics just dropping the cars on the stands. And here we go, we're actually going to get some racing. Some Williams cars are on their way out. Is that F1 Bobby? Is that Jamie? It's not. I think Joni Mate is definitely in the Williams, so there you go. Vapor Shadow, the first one out, and he wants to avoid that exit line in the race. He did just go over the pit exit line, which yeah, doesn't tend to do any good for your race intentions to make a nice clean race. We won't bother with telemetry right now, but we will take a look at tyres, and we will see on the outlaps. Jamraven has managed to rejoin, thankfully. Now hopefully we'll get the full field that came in. So then we've got Vapor Shadow, driver I've commentated on over a number of different leagues. So he certainly gets about in racing terms. He's going through Hans Ernst. They called this a chicane. I'm not sure. I think the second corner is a little bit too long to be a chicane, but he's just giving the tyres a bit of a warm-up and going to try a banker on some medium tyres, which certainly sounds like a good idea if you're on track alone and you've not got any traffic in the way. Yeah. Welcome if you're just joining us. And he's going to tackle the lap at racing speed. Picks his braking point, rides the banking into Tarzan, and then a little stretch before you hit the difficult braking zone of Hugenholtz. Now I don't see many drivers taking the high line. I hope we will see some drivers taking the high line. Then it's foot to the floor through the left and right of turns 5, 6 and 7, and then into Shivlak here, followed by Masters. The car does not want to turn into this next corner, and it looks like the lap potentially ruined from Vapor Shadow. Yeah, I think he's going to call it, and I think he's going to go again as he just tackles what is, I believe, turn 11 or Vodafone, short straight down to Hans Ernst, but won't tackle this at racing speed right now. I think Joni Mater though will. So just that little wiggle on the way out of turn 11. It is a tricky one. Braking, nice small amount of apex curb. Take too much out of that one and you're definitely in the gravel. And then talk about gravel, that bank is just welcoming a driver to dare to go too fast into the final braking zone of Kumho. Now the sprint to the line for Joni Mater will set a second time, or a second good enough time of 1:10.1. Jimmy Allen on the mediums has gone fastest. Then there is our championship leader, FaZe Max, in the Aston Martin of 109.7. Nice early time for him. Let's ride with F1 Bobby, who comes through. Joni Mater besting his teammate Vapor Shadow, of course, who we saw bail out of his lap on full throttle. Here comes Bobby though, short straight, braking, and just took the wheel, used the curb, the line of least resistance, before then picking a small patch of tarmac to brake on, and it's away. Now this corner, this high bank corner, is really difficult when you're in racing conditions. Easy in quali, and straight up to P5 for F1 Bobby. Liam won 3 in the middle of that, went 4th on a 1:10.3. I think Matty's out there on a lap. Matty in the Alpine, I think in about 5th or 6th place in the championship right now, so needs to consolidate that. Early apex for Matty through the second part of Hans Ernst. Doesn't get the car hooked beautifully into the curb on the inside, but rides the outside curb nicely. Uses the full width of the track on the way out and sprints for the line. Matty just a 1:10.8. So I think some drivers going very, very safe in their laps right now. Salad straight away back on form, back in the championship, back racing with us, and Salad goes provisional pole on a 109.6. So the soft tyres buying the drivers a fair couple of tenths there relative to the fastest medium. It wouldn't be the first time that Jimmy Allen qualifies there on the medium tyres. So riding with Jamie in the Alpine. The car just doesn't want to take these two right-handers. It's such a chore getting them into the apex, especially with their somewhat blind entries. And we ride through Vodafone, turn 11. Short stretch and crest into Hans Ernst. You can take a number of different lines. If you overspeed, you can release the throttle. Max Spence Tennis hates this track. Max, you sound a little bit like you've possibly got a Dutch name in there, and if so, that's tantamount to sacrilege for a Dutch driver to hate going around here. Jamie goes 6th fastest. Max is FaZe Max, of course. Got matching avatar names. Just learning what everybody's pseudonyms are when it comes to using their YouTube channels with different names. Do what I do. Everything's the same. Weber Red 5 YouTube, Twitter, Discord, nice and easy, and PSN. Anyway, NRO goes only up to P11, so it's gone for a relatively slow first lap on the tyres there. Huberto Mancini hasn't come out yet, but Jibuk is out. Jibuk is just stretching for the line now, and away, and then straight into pole position, a 109.4 for Jibuk. So the big guns firing early with their laps, so we'll definitely keep an eye on those top 4, maybe even the top 5 if we're lucky with their next laps. I don't think NRO is going any faster, and I think that right now yeah, FaZe Max is Dutch and he hates Zandvoort. Is there a better track in Netherlands that you prefer? I wonder. Let's ride now instead with Max himself, hating his way around the track. So driving in not necessarily the best frame of mind, but some drivers use hate and anger as potent weapons. He had a little moment there with a car in his way, but it's only a warm-up lap, so shouldn't affect him too much. So Jibuk is your provisional pole after the first runs, and Flying Croat, friend of mine, is here. Oh, Phase Max, you want to avoid doing that next time round. Put the frighteners on him there as he just weaves, gets rid of that car that's up ahead of him. He's got a bit of room to do this. There's a Mercedes ahead, but well far enough ahead. Flying Croat is here to support Tsunoda, so a lot of love for Tsunoda tonight. Phase Max then for his next attack at a lap, and we'll see how he hooks this together and his progress through the lap. How much time in hand did he leave on his first lap? Tricky curve braking here into Hugenholtz, using a low medium line for Phase Max. And we're away up the hill, and we're under our fastest time as we ride with Phase Max, the championship leader, and he's on the edge on the exits of corners. You can see he's on the edge here. Wow, another one. So leaving maybe 3/10 on the road there with a little bit of overspeed. Small correction, and again struggling to get this car out of the corners. I think he needs to add a bit of downforce on the rear, and he's completely wasted that lap. So yeah, unfortunately no faster for him as Joni Mater manages a 4/10, nearly 5/10 improvement, and gets up there into third place in the Williams. Next up then, Liam 1-3. Is it me, or are there like 400 Liams in F1 racing leagues? Liam. But anyway, Liam 1-3, our server coordinator, is away, and again he's managed to grab a little bit of time in his first sector. All using every bit of that outside curve on the entry into Skivlak. Tell me, is it Skivlak, or a combination of the two in Dutch? The way I want to read it is Skivlak. Down into Hans Ernst. That looks about perfect, and he's got a purple middle sector, so it's going very nicely for Liam. He'll be glad that Joni Mater is on a cooldown lap and is off the racing line. Wow, that was so close, and he unfortunately just dipped that wheel over the edge and invalidated. I don't know if he saw that he invalidated, or he's just committed himself to another flying lap, but unfortunately this time it's not going to be for him, as Huberto Mancini pops in the second row place. We've got a Mercedes front row lockout right now. That was heartbreaking for Phase Max there. That was really heartbreaking of Liam, I should say, who's gone even faster in his second attempt on this lap. He's got a little bit of traffic coming up ahead of him. He will certainly want him out the way. NRO does cruise around on the outside of the corner, and that's going to help no end into turn 11, the Vodafone corner. Short shifting out, that helps with that little bit of on throttle looseness that we've seen. Can he hook up this final braking zone this time? A little bit better than before. He's up. He was a little loose still, but Liam 1-3 then sprints for the line, focused entirely on the road in front of him, and goes 2/10 faster on a P. Good enough for P6. Immediately deploys by Gio in the Alfa Romeo there, and I think Jibuk is on a lap. So let's ride with Jibuk, who's 1/10 over his current best time through sector 1, I believe, but he's about to cross the beam for sector 2. Hans Ernst, and he's gained loads of time, and unsurprisingly you see a purple middle for Jibuk. So Jibuk then, one corner to go, he sees a yellow flag notification in front of him, followed by a green flag. Jan Ravens turned round in the AlphaTauri there at the apex of the final corner, and Jibuk away for the line. A small improvement, very small improvement, 0.02 of a second, but he's still got 3/10 in his pocket and pole position from his teammate, an ideal position for Jibuk there. So let's see what's Vapor Shadow up to. He's heading in the pits after an invalidation, unfortunately. Matty has improved through the first sector He's definitely not improved through the second sector though, so won't be doing anything else. And there we have NRO pointing the wrong direction. He's ghosted, but it's definitely distracting for the other drivers. He entered the Kumho corner 14 and didn't come out of it after a long gap. So where is Tsunoda right now? Tsunoda, with all the fans, is in 10th place in the Ferrari. He's 3/10 under his time so far on this lap. Hooks the car into the apex, uses every piece of the road. I don't think he's going to go any faster through that corner if he tries another 15 times. But Tsunoda, then the short straight over the crest and into Hans Ernst. Misses that outside apex, so the car doesn't get unsettled like we've seen other cars. Perhaps that's a faster way through there. Just avoiding those curbs. It's probably good advice for just about the entire game. Avoid those curbs. And Tsunoda then he's not going to go for the line. Yes, he is. He's going to hug the inside line. And Tsunoda, a 5/10 improvement up to P7. So nothing amazing, but a good place to start the race. You're with your teammate. You're with your Italian stablemates, front and back, and so a good place to start the race. P7. He can afford now to push on his final attempt. We've got just over 3 minutes remaining in our session. Lots of cars just sitting in the pits just to troll me. But one car who's not in the pits is Huberto Mancini. Huberto high up in the championship order right now and looking to climb even further towards the top. He's a Mercedes driver. He got very loose through turn 3 but rescued it. Well held by Huberto. And we go on the roller coaster climb and dip into Shivlak, pulls the car in. That was nice. Next into the Masters corner here, then turn 11, avoiding the apex slightly, but it's a long corner, it matters a little bit less. And Huberto then down to Hans Ernst. He's slightly over his time. He's going to need a mega final sector here, unless he decides to bail out and go for fresh tyres or a fresh run. A little bit of sideways moment as we've lost Phase Max. He's decided to bail, and so does Huberto Mancini, so unfortunately we lose him. Joni Mater just getting ready for a lap, so is Salad, while Jibuk and Giovi Tsunoda wait in the pits for the optimal track evolution moment, which is good. It's great for them, but it doesn't always produce the best lap, because I wonder if we actually lost Phase Max altogether. I don't see him stopped on track, but I think at the moment, if we got Jan Raven out there running a lap, no, getting out of the way of Jimmy Allen. Let's ride with Jimmy Allen because he was a bit higher up a little earlier in the race, in the qualifying session. I know he often has a number of fans around. Jimmy Allen staying low for best traction out, but not necessarily best minimum speed through Hugenholtz. Throws the car into Shivlak using the outside curb aggressively. Yeah, Max lost the rear out of the first banking, and unfortunately will take no further part in this qualifying, so 5th is the best he can hope for, although I think Jimmy Allen might have something to say about that. As he crosses the line, he's nearly 3/10 under. What a huge amount of apex that risked, both slamming into a wall and risked an invalidation, but he did it off throttle. I think he just about lived with it. He's still on for an improvement here. It will have unsettled the car in a big way, but Jimmy Allen from P9 goes P2. So potentially, I wonder if Jimmy Allen just lost his pole position opportunity by taking too much entry apex. Anyway, we'll leave that for him to give us a review, but Salad is going a little bit quicker, and he doesn't need a big improvement. He's got a purple middle sector 4/100ths faster, and this will see him challenge for 3rd position on the grid unless he can better Jimmy Allen on the way out of this third sector, which I think he should be able to. Hugs that inside line, stays low, and Salad up to P2. Great improvement for Salad. He goes P2 with a 109.5. And let's follow Jibuk, who of course waited till the final moment of qualifying to go out, but that means traffic. That we've got Giovi pointing in the wrong direction on the track there on the way out of turn 2. A fastest middle sector for Jibuk. So he's gaining ground on his pole position time already. Presses the loud pedal, ducks down in the cockpit and sprints for the line. A fastest lap, a 109.1. He's nailed that one, and Jibuk goes fastest. I don't see anybody beating that. Let's see who else is out there. Joni Mater won't. He's in the gravel. Tsunoda will start this race from 8th position. What about Liam? I think, is Liam cooling down? It doesn't look like it. He's throwing that car around. Liam then from P9, starting with his teammate next to him. Jimmy Allen was near him, but Jimmy Allen's got up to P3. But Liam 1-3 then. Pulls the car into the second part of Hugenholtz. Drags the car into Kumho. And just cooling the car down. He won't be sprinting to get a better start position from there. Not at that pace. So it looks like qualifying is out and done. Tsunoda with understeer apparently. So a tense and ever-changing qualifying session, as we often see in our F11. But fastest out there is Jibuk, who will start from pole position with a 109.1, and if he can carry that into the race, he's got a very, very strong chance of leading from the front. We've got Tosma Salad in second from Jimmy Allen, Huberto Mancini, Joni Mater, FaZe Max, Giovi, Tsunoda, Liam 1-3, and Jamie are your top 10. And then on free choice of tyres, of course, we've got Vapor Shadow, NRO, Matty, Bobby, and bringing up the rear will be Jan Raven. It's looking like a warm sunny day so far, at least in Zandvoort. I'm just reading the chat and seeing we've got a few complaints about people taking out the braking marker boards. Now that could be a tactical little bit of gamesmanship in qualifying. I think the marshals have got plenty of spares and get out there in between sessions to replace them. But it could be an advantage if you decide to do that to your competitors and you don't use them yourself. Definitely you'll be looking for a braking point for corners like Hans Ernst at the end of the lap, because you're going over a crest, that and potentially Shivlak as well. But the countdown has started and we're ready for our formation lap. Driver's already out there, I can see in the corner of the screen, but we're just waiting for the players to get themselves ready, get their strategy in place. And I wonder this week whether anybody will underfuel the car again, hoping for safety cars. Unfortunately, we've seen that before and it didn't work out well for the drivers. Anyway, we're away on our formation lap then, and let's give some screen time to the tail runners. 15 cars will start this race. How many will finish? Place your bets now. What do you reckon, everyone in the chat? How many will we see bring to the finish? Will we get a full complement of points? will we will we how many safety cars, how many finishes? Let's have your bets now while we wait for the cars to get round. It'd be a great time if you would just like the video and make sure you are subscribed to PSGL. If you do want to follow me, you can do that on @WebberRed5 on Twitter. But Jan Raven will start at the back on hards. Then we've got Bobby and Matty on medium tyres. Back on hards again for NRO and Vapor Shadow in P11. So look for P13 and 14 to make up places at the start relative to the two cars ahead of them, potentially. And look for the hard runners to struggle on that first opening lap. I'm going to need eyes everywhere on the track to cover the entry to Tarzan and Hugenholtz. But everybody else, of course, on soft tyres that they qualified on. It's a short lap, but we will be doing 36 laps in this 50% race distance. So looking forward to this one. Jibuk talking down his chances in his racecraft. So let's hope for his sake he gets through the first few corners unscathed and away. He won't need to worry about racecraft. He'll just need to manage his gaps and energy use and everything. Let's wait and see if he can do that. So who's going to be the first driver with a penalty as well? That's always a good question to ask here. So good luck to our drivers, as says Salad. I don't know if that's a slight warning, like good luck drivers, you've got me on the track. But we've got 5 lights. It's lights out, and away we go in PSGL's F11 with Jibuk from the front, getting a nice clean start on the clean side of the track. But Toss My Salad has the inside line. Will he give room on the outside? We've got a Red Bull out in the gravel already, but Salad got ahead. Jibuk, will he settle for that? He takes the high road through Hugenholtz. Does everybody make it out cleanly? No, they don't, as we see one of the Alfa Romeos losing the car slightly on traction. We've got side-by-side action between Aston Martin and FaZe Max, who's got ahead of Jimmy Allen already. Fantastic start from FaZe Max, looking aggressive, but manageably so. Nobody out of the race on the first few corners, which is what we want to see. Absolutely. We've got a Red Bull in front of Jibuk, who started on pole in the Mercedes, then Joni Mater in the Williams and Huberto in 4th. Who else have we got going? Close look at Tsunoda. Here comes Tsunoda down into Hans Ernst. He'll get the inside here, and he gets the job done just on the apex, so he can afford to stretch his legs now and get away from Vapor Shadow. Good early move from Tsunoda down into the chicane using that entry curb, and we've got Giovi getting past. I think that's Vapor Shadow. Vapor is trying to challenge. He's ghosted for some reason, but I continue round, so I'm not sure if we've lost connection for Vapor Shadow temporarily. Let's hope not, as the cars continue through. And this is excellent driving from our F11 drivers already. It's close down there at the front, but they're doing fantastically to all keep going at this point. This track is fiendishly difficult, and never more so than when the cars are heavy, when the cars are on cold tyres as well. This is brilliant. Yes, Ivan mentions there that I've had enough of watching safety cars. Yeah, if you're a fan of Bernd Meinlander, go and check out the F13 race. And if you're a fan of inexplicable glitches, I did guest commentate with Jake. Oh, we've got the Alpine there of Jamie has turned the car around on the exit of, I think, Vodafone. So unfortunately Jamie turned around, but he saved the car and he lives to fight another day. Gap stretching slightly at the front. I think it's within a second still, but Salad keeps the lead at this point in the race. Yeah, so add that F13 race to your list to watch after a drink or two perhaps. But here we go. Look, the cars are stretching out a little bit. The gaps are opening up which is good for clean racing. It's bad for commentary, I have to say. You do want those gaps to keep pretty close. But Salad, I think, got the early fastest lap early on in the race. Jamie's come into the pits to get rid of those hard tyres, I think. Or no, he's put on hard tyres. So he's going to try and make lemonade out of lemons and convert into plan B, which is an early hard change. But it's a long way to go, 33 laps on hard tyres, so he may well not be able to get that going perfectly. Fantastic stuff though. At the front we've got Jibbok catching Salad. Salad has been wanting to get away from him, but we should get DRS in operation properly, and Jibbok has closed in beautifully here. We've got a very close battle for the lead as they get down to Hugenholtz. I see Jibbok taking a slightly higher entry, lower exit, and possibly making a gain there. There's a little bit of a dirty air effect through the next couple of corners. He's going to have to anticipate the understeer and steer too much into the corner. But that's very unnatural for the drivers who spent hours and hours and hours practicing this in the preparation for this race, practicing this track on time trial. Trying to rethink how you enter a corner is very difficult, and I always find it surprising when even drivers at the top echelon of motorsport in real life struggle in the wake of another car and are kind of surprised by understeer. Salad went right across that entry curb again in Hugenholtz, and I'm worried that he's going to catch himself a penalty. So far, lap 4, no DNFs and no penalties, and here comes Jibbok again. He's going to use the DRS to close in, but I don't think he's going to be close enough into Tarzan. No, not at all. Joni Mater, it will be hoping to get a little closer and pay a watching brief on these two. Let's watch them through Hugenholtz, and then I'll head down the field because I think Liam 1-3 is on the move. Let's go down to Liam. Here he comes then. He's got his teammate close behind him, so he will certainly not expect to be hit from behind or expect an overly aggressive move, but taking slightly different lines through there. Here comes his teammate getting the underlap, getting underneath him. So playing nicely with each other so far. I'm not sure Liam will thank him for that move, but you have to beat your teammate. And I think Liam put his nose in and either touched the inside curb or touched the rear wheel of his teammate and has turned himself around. So lucky for him that he didn't end up with more problems, but it looks like Giovi off in front of him as well. So Giovi was unsettled by that run, and I don't know if that's going to trigger these cars to again go on to plan B. Now the 4-lap-old soft tyres are going to be starting to fade now on the cars. And here comes Jibbok for the lead. Round the outside, Salad will be able to brake a little bit later. Jibbok is well ahead though. Salad shouldn't drive him off the track here. And they head on out. Jibbok's got a better entry, leaves a car's width on the entry into turn 3 and gets the job done beautifully into Hugenholtz. And that was a class bit of driving from both competitors, Jibbok and Salad, obviously able to respect each other tremendously through here. So brilliant racing. Salad knows it's a 36-lap race. Well, I guess it's a 30-lap race now, but he knows there's plenty of time to fight. Just touches the inside curb, but Jibbok needs to stretch out now a little bit. Ivan thinks that Liam hit the curb. I'm inclined to believe to agree with you. That was my first read of the situation, so I was just hoping he hadn't touched his teammate, but yeah, he was certainly stuck his nose up where it didn't really belong, and thankfully for the Ferrari team, only Liam suffered as a result of that one, but it could have been a little bit worse. A little bit further down the order, we've got Huberto Mancini and Jimmy Allen, a little bit stuck behind Phase Max at the moment now. That's surprising me. Phase Max not enjoying this phase on the soft tyres. So Huberto Mancini making a move under DRS, gets by his engine partnering car of Phase Max, and Huberto will be pretty pleased to get past the championship leader at this point. I wonder if Phase Max's saving tyres has run out of tyres, or has set his car up to run the mediums a little bit faster. Up ahead though, Joni Mater now closing in on Salad. So Salad again not having the best out of the first two sectors of lap 7. Tsunoda I think has got past Huberto Mancini. I wonder if there was an error there. Just managed to get to the wrong car, but Tsunoda got by Roberto Mancini, and I think Roberto Mancini's lost 2 or 3 places because FaZe Max is back in 4th. Wow, Jody Mater almost ran into the back of the Red Bull of Salad. Such was the difference in braking zones, and Jody Mater just had to steer left on a right-handed corner just to get out of it and avoid hitting him. Now, is this a good idea for Jody Mater to pit at this moment? Well, we'll never know, but while being held up by a slower car in front, it might be an opportunity to action an undercut. We may get a situation. Roberto Mancini has pitted, so he's the first one from 7th place. He pits. Now that he was around Tsunoda and had Matti behind him, so we'll keep an eye on where he comes out, because he had the best opportunity to be the first guy to pit off the soft tyres. He was losing nothing to any other soft runner, so we'll see if he manages to gain ground through here. But Joni Mater is close. Jimmy Allen is also close to FaZe Max. So I wonder about Joni Mater and FaZe Max and Jimmy Allen. Do they do the opposite of their respective leading position in front of them? Do they do the opposite at pit entry here? Because you've got to think they're losing time on their overall race right now. Yeah, they're only going to end up where they started if they do the same thing as the guy in front. It's lap 8 of 36. Will Joni Mater come in? No, stays out. What about Jimmy Allen? Jimmy Allen does not. And we've lost Tsunoda. It looks like Tsunoda's turned it round on the way in. And wow, Matti just decided I'm gonna get myself. I'm going to drive straight for the Ghost and hope he doesn't solidify. Thankfully he didn't. So Tsunoda onto plan B, because those tyres are going to be worthless for him now. So plan B for him. That's certainly going to help Roberto Mancini, who's already pitted. So he gets past one of those cars already, and up the front it's Jibuk from Salad, almost stretched his way out of DRS. FaZe Max gets by Jimmy Allen. So FaZe Max potentially was in a tyre conservation mode, because Jimmy's losing ground no end here. And Joni Mater also getting very close to Salad again. I think Salad had an aggressive start and a little bit of battling with the Mercedes of Jibuk, and could well have been using too much of his tyres. Will he pit now? Will Joni Mater pit now? No is the answer to both those questions. Interesting. I'm kind of expecting it to happen. I think it looked like Jimmy Allen needs to come in, and he does indeed come in. So Matti goes through. Vapor Shadow goes through from the Williams as well. A good race so far for the Williams cars, and Matti is that first driver who will not be pitting on this particular phase. Let's go back to Vapor Shadow. Salad. It looks like, oh, Joni Mater's got by Salad just while we were watching that pit stop. So apologies for that one, but Joni Mater gets by, and now the impetus goes with Salad as to what to do on the pits. Let's see what happens. It's lap 10. We've got 15 runners still. Excellent news for our drivers. I'm dealing in facts. That doesn't count as a curse, by the way. Anyway, so Salad in 3rd place now from 2nd on the grid, and we get a great helicopter cam. You know, there's sometimes I wish we could just stick with the helicopter cam all night long, because it really helps you know where the racing is going on. Jibuk, Joni Mater and Salad all stay out for yet another lap. What does Salad do here? Joni Mater defends, so Salad runs the high line. FaZe Max doesn't pit either, so 10 laps they're going to go with these. I think they're going to go for a long one-stop chop. Oh, well, hey to Ryan, and I appreciate the compliment. That's very kind of you. Tell everyone in the admin team on PSGL if you like what I do. But I appreciate the comment and compliment. Thank you, and good luck in joining in the mid-season sign-ups. There's clearly a little bit of room in the regular department when it comes to F11. we're losing several drivers as we go, so hopefully the mid-season will help us get our drivers in and back up to a full complement. But Salad then is half a second back from Joni Mater, who in turn is 1.5 seconds back from the race leader, Gibbuk. We've just lost Liam. What happened to Liam? I can't see him, unfortunately, from the perspective. He's sitting in the pits. Or is that Tsunoda? Liam has retired in the pits, it looks like. And it looks like Jan Raven has come in for a new nose. So I wonder if those two things are related. They often are, unfortunately. If Liam lets me know what happened, I'll let the rest of you know, of course. That's my normal method, at least. If I've got someone on comms with me, they might be able to do invites or investigate and have a second pair of eyes. Looks like Bobby on 11 lap old mediums from the start just gets by Matty there into Hugenholtz, and that helps Vapor Shadow catch right up to Matty ahead of him. Matty on the compromised line. So Salad still out there on the soft tyres, as are the leading 4 cars. I think they're all stretching to a one-stopper if at all possible. Salad dropping back slightly, but we'll focus on the midfield at the moment with the Red Bull of Bobby, the Alpine of Matty, and the Williams of Vapor Shadow. As I say, Vapor Shadow, he gets around in league racing. I keep bumping into him everywhere. Anyway, Vapor Shadow's got a good run now and heading for the line. Still, our lead runners don't pit, so they've got great tyre life out of these soft tyres. 12 laps so far, but you've got to think they're nearing that window where their race pace is going to be affected. Let's see, NRO gets by Giovi. I think Tsunoda's had another trip somewhere. Oh, Tsunoda, what's going on? Let's see if we can see him from Jamie's car. Don't see him yet. Did he just, was it just a pit stop? It was just a pit stop, thankfully. And the seesawing, Tsunoda's retired in the pits, I think. The seesawing of what's happened between Salad and Joni Mater, there's no one driver has got a clear pace advantage over the other. Joni Mater can't get away, Salad can't close right up, so they're kind of locked together. And the Red Bull will be hoping this is the moment. Closes right in, and it's so difficult in this phase of the race not to try and take the inside line and end up someone crashing into you once the pit stop. But Joni Mater loses out that time to Salad, while Gibbuk from the lead and at the same time FaZe Max, your championship leader, have pitted and they've gone on hard tyres. Sorry, scratch that one. Gibbuk's gone on hards, but FaZe Max has gone on mediums, so a difference in strategic decision from the leaders there. And let's just wait and see how that is all going to shake out. Further down the grid, we've got NRO, Giovi, and Jimmy Allen closing on each other. Wow, NRO almost runs into the back of Giovi. That hands the inside line over to Jimmy Allen. A little bit of wheel touching, too much wheel banging. At first glance, from my perspective, that was hyper aggressive from Jimmy Allen. Racing room could have been left a little bit better over there, but I only get one look at it, as do everybody else, unfortunately. How awesome would it be if we got ourselves a replay button for the spectator role on F1 gaming? But further down the order then, is this the time for our lead 2 to decide to pit? Let's watch them as Joni Mater closes right in on Salad again. They're going through Tarzan, so they've held out, but is that just going to mean that Gibbuk gets the underlap? Gibbuk hooks underneath F1 Bobby, who could have done the favours for his teammate there, but opted for the Valtteri Bottas approach of lie down for your championship rivals teammate. But anyway, Gibbuk through to P11 and has got now only an 11-second gap to the leading pair after having made a pit stop, so he's just going to bomb away into the distance. FaZe Max enjoying a lot less of a clear run. He's got a clear track ahead of him right now, but his gap to the lead is significantly more. He'll be hoping that Thomas Marcel and Joni Mater stay out even longer, because FaZe Max has got to take these medium tyres steadily, but that's not going to be the way to do it, and knocks his front wing. Gets the car, turn around, he's ghosting now so he can safely resume racing. He's right on the crest though. Someone's going to have a Code Brown moment as they come over that crest if they see him facing that way. He gently got the car back up to racing speed, but that's going to ruin his race strategy. And it would be a perfect time now. There'd be a nice gap for Salad and Joni Mater to pit out and rejoin after that little drama, but they won't know that that's been going on for FaZe Max. FaZe Max, as we said, the Dutchman hating his home track, and certainly not going to help him fall in love with it anymore after watching himself turn around there at an inopportune moment. So at the moment, the race falling away from our championship leader FaZe Max, and definitely coming to, I think Jibuk is going to have a very, very strong showing through here. Toss My Salad is super aggressive over the first Hans Ernst apex. He takes a massive chunk out of it. It can't be good for his tyre life as he recollects the car. It's lap 15 and our leaders go by again, so I'm sure they'll be looking to make the medium tyre work for a one-stop. But I mean, Jibuk is gaining about a second a lap at the moment on their race time, so that they're not competing for the win on pure race pace right now. That's for sure. Jibuk on an ideal tyre to run the distance, and like I say, Toss Marcel and Joni Mater won't really have the context of the race in mind. They'll be focusing on the gap to each other and not really thinking about their overall gap to Jibuk. If FaZe Max gets back up to pace on those medium tyres, he should be able to close that gap that he opened up, and there he is. Look, straight back on the pace of 1:11.7, fastest lap for FaZe Max. So the hammer is down for FaZe Max, and this time Joni Mater closing on Toss My Salad, and I wonder if Joni Mater will opt to do the opposite of Toss My Salad here. He's got the impetus to do that, and the worst that can happen is he ends up where he is now. In comes the Red Bull. Williams goes by, so he does elect to do the opposite. I really feel like that's the only smart move, and you can see just how close and tight that pit lane is. But a 9.4 second gap is Jibuk's target right now. Lap 18, we've passed the halfway period in our race already, and it's flying by with these short laps and racing speed arrangement, which I have to say I'm loving right now. So my gratitude goes out to our drivers. Your order then on lap 18 as FaZe Max again goes fastest, dips the bar yet again. Joni Mater has the lead, hasn't pitted yet, but Jibuk really your net race leader. Then F1 Bobby in the Red Bull, and his teammate Salad has come out in 4th place. Joni Mater's tyres look on 73% on the front left. Now the real life F1 cars were rear left limited, so interesting whether that's to do with brake bias movements or there's quite a big delta for Joni Mater between his front and rear tyres. So I wonder if he hasn't really moved that brake bias around into the pits on lap 18. So I'm sure this will be medium tyres, and I'm 50-50 sure as to whether Salad is going to get by. It looks like he will action that undercut, but he wasn't really let go by his teammate Bobby. Out comes Joni Mater again with his teammate Vapor Shadow next to him. Now Vapor really needs to let him go very, very quickly because he's on old hard tyres, and he's going to be holding up his teammate. So what does he elect to do here? He really could have just blended out of the throttle. I think he does. He gives him the inside, so making him go on the marbles at least, but he gets the apex, and they both have a compromise run through the corner. But the right thing done by Vapor Shadow at this stage of the race. We've got a Mercedes in front of 2 Red Bulls, in front of 2 Williams. So everybody's made at least 1 pit stop, apart from F1 Bobby, who of course has made all those places up. 0 penalties and 0 cautions. There goes that awful line into Hans Ernst. Vapor Shadow unsettles the car, resets to track. Shadow, I don't think that's allowed, mate. I think that's going to get you into trouble. So stops for Bobby to make, and he makes one right now. Vapor Shadow, is he going to come in? No, he's going to run out on those hard tyres. And NRO hasn't made a stop either. And then our position, we won't count Bobby and Vapor Shadow until they finish their pit stops. But Bobby so far, we've got Matty up 6 places, and everybody else roughly where they started. Jimmy Allen's had a bit of a torrid time through that phase of the race, and has gone down 7 places. And apart from those that have DNF'd, not too many places up and down. We'll see where does Bobby come out. He comes out having gained 8 places. So Bobby, so far, your potential driver of the day candidate. Look how much Joni Mater has caught. He came out of pits miles behind Salad after that undercut, and he's caught him right back up again, and he's stirring at the back of the Red Bull, which I don't think he's going to be particularly impressed with. It's lap 20. We have 16 complete laps to run. Jibuk, still your leader out there. It's got a 6-second lead, and barely has seen another car all race. So this time the Williams has a good run on the Red Bull, goes to the inside. Salad tries to ride the long way round, tries to switch back, didn't quite time it. I didn't feel like Joni Mater was aggressive there. I felt like perhaps Salad turned into him a la Schumacher Jerez with Villeneuve in 97, but with a lot less spectacular results, and I'm sure a lot less intention. But Joni Mater then up to P2 now, and he's always been there or thereabouts in the races. Hasn't necessarily always finished as high as he'd like, I'm sure. We've got Mercedes, Williams, Red Bull, Mercedes, Williams, Red Bull. So those 3 teams enjoying the vast majority of the points positions right now. Anyway, we've got a yellow flag, sector 2. Let's hope it's a temporary yellow flag in sector 2. I don't see anybody suddenly dropping down the order, but Vapor Shadow is pretty close. But we'll focus on the other Williams and Red Bull, and they trade places yet again using the DRS to great effect. Salad has a higher top speed, I think, than Joni Mater does. Not just because of DRS, but because it was a much easier pass for him than it was for Joni Mater the lap prior. But by using DRS in this way and clean racing at other times, they will actually get themselves almost a slipstream co-working kind of arrangement to try and catch the leader Jibuk. Guys, I'm touching anything wooden I can see, but we have a safety car. I was just going to say we haven't had any big issues, or certainly no penalties yet either. That's quite amazing. Our first safety car on lap 21. Now, does this change the strategies for any of our drivers, I wonder? At the moment, we've got Jibuk out there on hard tyres. He's got a gap. He could get a cheap pit stop. Too early to run soft tyres, but he could elect to have a slightly more interesting race in front of him and put for mediums. That's exactly what he does. While the other cars are running around on their delta, what does Salad do? He comes in, so does Joni Mater, only after 2 or 3 laps on those tyres. So we did see that they managed to get soft tyres this sort of distance at the early part of the race, so they should make it work. Huberto Mancini, Vapor Shadow in as well. I think everybody's following suit and coming in for soft tyres, but Bobby will go on because he's already on those soft tyres. In comes Jovi, in comes Matty, Phase Max. What do you do here? You come in for softs as well. Everybody going for the same strategy, apart from Bobby, who'd already done that strategic option and goes on through. He didn't manage to gain any places though, unfortunately, on the lead 3. But of course, he's just effectively regained all that ground he lost pitting at full speed, and he will have soft tyres. Now, I don't think Jibbock and Joni Mater fancied running those softs again to the end. They've both gone on mediums, as has Matty, FaZe Max and NRO. Now, they're going to find that somewhat difficult, especially Matty and FaZe Max, to make ground, because the cars in front of them will have better grip while the gaps are really small. So it's going to be fascinating to watch, and remember that Matty, FaZe Max in particular, are on mediums and should be strong at the end of our race. It's lap 23 of 36. We have 13 complete laps to run after we see where the safety car goes. Now, that was a very strange situation when we had a safety car come out and nobody drop out of the race. So unless that was some sort of underhand tactical teammate decision, and I can't see who would be in a position to do that, it's presumably just a little bit of debris that has caused the safety car to come out. So we're a little bit unlucky on that front, I think. I haven't heard from any of our drivers who have DNF'd. Only Jamie, who got rear wing damage because of the bump in the banking. I'm assuming that unsettled the car and he spun off rather than just the vibration of the bump causing that issue. So I'm assuming he went wrong on the bump and lost the car on traction out of one of the bank corners, rather than it just falling off. But if it did just fall off, then he won't thank the Alpine mechanics for what they've done. Jamie, if you're listening in, let me know what happened. Anyone who's got a pick for the end of the race? Anybody see someone other than Jibbock winning this? I know that Joni Mater and Salad have had good pace, but have they got enough pace to beat Jibbock on his medium tyres? It's all going to be about this restart for Jibbock, though, because if he gets a good restart, he's got a great chance of taking the win. If the cars are with him after the restart, and there we have one of our slowdown penalties. The first penalty on lap 24. I think we're doing very, very well indeed. Jovi and Matty, I believe, have hit each other. Unfortunately, we've seen that a number of times as the cars concertina inside. Yeah, Jamie did lose the car and hit the inside wall. So unfortunately, I think that might have been the last corner with an inside wall where that happened. So Jibbock is weaving. He's going to wait for Salad to weave in his mirrors and then presumably bomb it just when his rival is on full lock. If you haven't got temperature now is not a great time to try and get temperature, and Jibbock goes just after the pit entry point. And we're away. We're green flag racing as Williams still warming those tyres. And let's look further down as the cars go 2 wide into Tarzan. Actually 3 wide into Tarzan at the bottom of the field. The slightest touch there is going to result in a DNF. But FaZe Max trying to make a place up. He goes down the low route through Hugenholtz. He's behind behind Jovi. And he won't be able to get by there. But it's very, very close, and he might have a good chance through into Hans Ernst corner. Gap opening up at the front slightly, and ahead of these cars we've also got a real tailback behind the Red Bull of Bobby, whose soft tyres should actually be in a better working window, but he's struggling away. F1 Bobby, no one braving a move into Hans Ernst at this stage of the race. But Giovi and Matty, we saw, have got those time penalties, and I'm assuming that Matty's going to be on his way into the pits to change. We've just got drama for Jimmy Allen there. We have Jimmy Allen lost the car on the last corner, but let's go back to the lead because it's only 2 tenths. As I say that, it increases to 4 tenths around the corner, but Jibbock has a 4-tenth lead from Salad. Salad stretching from Joni Mater, who has... So Salad, of course, has got the best tyres right now, but they won't last very long. and pretty soon we'll have a better arrangement. I thought I was going to see Matty drive into the pits because I thought he dropped down with damage, but it seems to be okay right now. Huberto catching an inside curve. Be careful, that's a risky game. And we've got Shadow with some very close attention being paid by Jovi behind as well. It's a 5/10 lead at the front. You're looking at the battle for 4th, which is just, you could throw a reasonable size Max Verstappen orange cape over all of these drivers at this point. Half a second is that gap at the front, and then we're under a second for all of these drivers, so DRS neutralised to some extent. Jibuk is stretching his lead though at the front. He's just got the fastest lap again. He wants that extra point if he can help it. Who wouldn't? But so we're less than 10 laps to run now, and so far I think we're warming up for a photo finish from some of these drivers. I don't think they're going to get away from each other. These soft tyre runners, they're going to have some problems. F1 Bobby's going to have some issues sooner than the rest of them, so look for his pace to drop off, and that will probably be 1 lap ahead of the rest of them, as long as he wasn't too aggressive on his tyres under the safety car. So I think Bobby will be the one who's got the most places gained. Yeah, 10 up so far, so a slam dunk if he can hold the car together to the end of the race. A slam dunk for the Driver of the Day award from the game, at least. Anthony Davidson usually does it by places gained. A little bit further down, look, Jovi's going to have a great run here on the Williams of Vapor Shadow ahead. Here we go then, down the start-finish straight. We've got synchronised overtakes happening. The Mercedes of Huberto Mancini has gone through, but Jovi didn't make it, so again chose the wrong car to watch, my apologies. But Huberto Mancini gets up to 4th, so 1st and 4th for our Mercedes team, 2nd and 5th for our Red Bull, and 3rd and 6th for the Williams team. They're certainly keeping things nice and neat for us, aren't they? I wonder, you know, whether Bobby's tyres have just hit that problematic stage. He's just dropped down a couple of places, so he's still gained 9, but he's going to start losing places hand over fist if he's not careful. Let's head back up to the lead though, and Salad's pursuit of Jibuk. Now Jibuk is not in a comfortable position yet to the end of this race. I'm sure he will hope to be fairly soon. He just needs to ride out this period of the race. He's going to take the centre of the track, so he's kind of made his one move. Salad goes to the outside, looking for a slightly better timed slingshot than we saw before, and they stay on this low line now. I haven't seen any drivers taking the higher lane round Hugenholtz in the game yet. Shout up if you've seen somebody and I'll ride with them, because I want to see it. But it's brave, because if you get it wrong, then there's no room to manoeuvre. NRO is catching Jimmy Allen at this stage. They're very, very close to each other. I wonder if NRO is going to have a go. So far, there are not too large gaps developing at this point. NRO just losing out through the fast section of the middle of the lap, where it's difficult to ride with the driver in front. F1 Bobby has held off. He's in 5th place from Vapor Shadow in 6th, Jovi in 7th, FaZe Max championship leader in 8th, having dropped 2 places from the start. And I was honestly expecting him to be climbing the order a little bit more. Toss my Salad then on the start finish straight. Still can't get close enough through the final sector to make that move work. Let's go and have a look at this stage. It's lap 30. We'll have a look at their telemetry settings, and Jibuk has actually, despite stretching his lead, Jibuk has managed to keep a lot more ERS available to him than Salad has, who's running on the dregs at the bottom of the battery. So it's not working out brilliantly for him. the gap opens up in the middle sector again to 6/10. A little bit more action happening in the midfield. Here comes Vapor Shadow now. I think, is it Jovi and Matty have both got 5-second penalties? Did I remember that correctly? Yes, but they may argue that one of those gets undone after the issues that they had. I think Bobby has just dropped down. Bobby's had an issue. Bobby down to 9th, so those soft tyres, I do think those soft tyres have given up the ghost on his 9th lap. Potentially, is he going to pit? No, he stays out. He thinks holding on to that 2 points for 9th place is a better position for him. Back at the front, the gap hovering around the half a second mark. As we've seen all race long, Salad has not had an easy time of it, and he's determined to keep Djibouc honest right to the end of this race. It's lap 31 and we've got short 5 laps to go in this race. An impressive race by our F11 standards tonight. That's not throwing any shade on the drivers, just a statement of facts that I've witnessed. Certainly helping us have that we can monitor the strategy, we can monitor tyre wear a little bit better when we have a race at racing speed. And it looks like Salah just consolidating some of his battery and immediately spending it all on the way out of the final corner. I think he might do better just to stay within DRS, so just use it enough to stay in DRS and then use it all against Djibouc, who spent a little bit now just trying to open up that gap. So fascinating strategy between the two of them. You would think now that the medium tyres are the better tyre to be on, but Joni Mater somehow has lost 5 seconds to Salad, who's been able to use that DRS, and that might be what it's been worth since the safety car. Actually, it might just be purely down to that, and just having to keep an eye on his mirrors and his arrow markers while he goes along through this race. It's a really difficult thing for our drivers to maintain their focus all the way through this tricky and challenging circuit. Not too difficult to know where you are on the track. It's got a great rhythm to it, apart from maybe a couple of the really awkward stops. I'm thinking particularly of Hans Ernst, that is a pain in the neck every time you get there, but they still have to be really careful with their throttle pedal or right index finger if they're on the controller. A defensive move from Joni Mater. He's right away across into the pit wall there to try and stop Huberto Mancini, but Mancini on the soft tyres doesn't quite get it done. But some respectful clean racing again from these two, and a difference in line. Huberto almost doing a high line, but I'd call that a middle line really, because the high line in real life, that was 2 wheels up on the Aramco paint on the outside of the track. So proper brave stuff that we didn't see from really any of the other categories over the weekend. A really fascinating race at this point. How are the soft runners? Are we going to see drivers start to make mistakes who are on those soft tyres like we did in the first stint? Drivers were struggling from about this point, 9 laps, and a couple of the drivers made it to 12 laps, but not everybody. So it's definitely going to be intriguing. Bobby has lost another place. He's now down to 10th, and I don't think those soft tyres are going to make it to the end at racing speed. Here comes Huberto Mancini again. Salad defends to the inside. Huberto Mancini ran the outside, doesn't carry quite as much speed as he'd like, but he does hold on around the outside. Can he stay with Joni Mater? And that was a nice move, and again good respectful racing from our F11 leaders here, Huberto Mancini and Joni Mater. Strong drivers, both of them. Joni Mater getting underneath him through the roller coaster, and brilliant move really there. That was great retaliation to losing a place. And here comes now Giovi, who's racing with a penalty, but just out there fighting for pride. He might potentially be looking to get that penalty lifted FaZe Max sticks a front wing up the inside of Giovi. He would have been expecting it there, and that's dangerous for your championship points. Did I just see something on the screen, or was it a flicker? I didn't just see rain, did I? I think I did. I think that's 2 flickers I've seen. I think it's raining, everybody. Let's go on board. Yeah, that's about the 4th raindrop I've definitely seen now as Humberto Mancini goes around the outside. I don't know if we will have any further drama at the end of this race, but we're going to have rain in the tail as Humberto Mancini gets by Joni Mater. This time Giovi is much better off and will be doing exactly what Joni Mater did to Mancini last time round as FaZe Max goes through and they make contact between FaZe Max. He just held on, so well caught and saved there between the 2 drivers as FaZe Max gets underneath Joni Mater this time into Shivlak and gets the job done. 1 more place gained, but there is rain happening on the final 2 laps of our race. Will it be enough to put off any of our drivers further? They're going to have to. This is absolute nightmare scenario for our drivers because their tyres are the soft runners. Their tyres are at the end of their life. They're already having to be careful on the throttle pedal on the way out of corners. And as I say that, Salad turns round. Will he recover in time to get back on racing speed? The cars are going to be approaching Humberto Mancini for 3rd place. Here they come. They're at racing speed. Salad's got to be careful on his new tyres, and they both get by. So this now the battle for the podium as we've got FaZe Max behind these 2 defending from Joni Mater, but Giovi gets Salad. So does Humberto Mancini. So Giovi fighting for the potential podium if he can get that move done, and he can keep himself penalty free. We've got NRO's picked up a penalty, but it's not particularly important at this stage of the race. It's the final lap and it's raining in Zandvoort. Jibuk's been gifted this race win from the pressure that he withstood. I'm not taking anything away from Jibuk, who's drove imperiously, but all the pressure lifted on him now, and Mercedes waltz their way straight into a top 2 podium positions. They'll be loving this, every second of it. These guys are going to battle right to the end, but we have to give Jibuk his due as he rounds the final corner. It's raining at the end of Zandvoort, but that doesn't stop Jibuk from taking the win in round 4 and a big step forward in the championship. Now it's Humberto Mancini for the line. He's got Giovi very close behind him. Photo finish between the 2 of them, but Humberto Mancini will take it from Salad, who will stand on the podium, but we don't know if he'll keep it. FaZe Max 4th from frankly nowhere in that race. FaZe Max gets 4th place thanks for the penalty of Giovi, and wow, that one really had a sting in the tail for us, didn't it? It was brilliant finish. Humberto Mancini finished with 0 fuel, and Jamie, I apologise if you spotted the rain before I did, but I wasn't watching the chat, as you can imagine, because it was getting so tense at the end there. We've got a British full podium. The Welsh drivers won't thank me for that one. British guy on the top step and 2 Welsh drivers on 2nd and 3rd before. That's our provisional result at least. Section there on the audio, but I've had to clear my throat. My throat has not been holding up to, I think, the 5th consecutive night of commentary for me. Anyway, Jibuk takes the win, no doubt about that one, and probably I very much doubt any doubt about Humberto Mancini's 2nd place. Tosmai Salad will stand on the podium with Mancini for the Red Bull, and FaZe Max, the championship leader, will get a 4th place, and I think with about 4 laps to run was way down in 7th or 8th position, but gets himself up to 4th place. Then Joni Mater in 5th. Vapor Shadow for the Williams team both get together for 6th place for Vapor Shadow. Then Giovi and Jimmy Allen, the Alfa Romeo team, finished together provisionally, of course. F1 Bobby in the other Red Bull, a lot further back after running those tyres just that little bit too long. NRO for Finland, and McLaren in 10th place will get the final point, followed then home by Matty who will have the most frustrating race to run all those laps and come home with nothing. Then we have our non-finishers, Jamie, Tsunoda, Jan Raven and Liam 1-3, the tier coordinator, who unfortunately we lost very early on in the race. Let me give you the highlights of the drivers' results. Jibbock's understandably very pleased. Huberto finished on virtually zero fuel whatsoever. Obviously underfueled the game slightly, anticipating more than the one safety car period that we had. But the two Mercedes drivers, understandably, very, very happy with their finish. Then we've got, who else is commenting here? Max congratulating Jibbock on the win, which is nice to see. Max still hating the game. Bobby, he's not happy with himself for that one. Huberto Mancini saying that race was not good for his health. He's used up some of his heart rate, his heartbeats, if you buy into that particular theory. Journey Rater didn't enjoy it at all. Salad hating on the curbs, as you can well expect. Jimmy Allen claiming that Phase Max put him into the wall. So that's unfortunate. We'll see that if that shakes out in the steward's inquiry afterwards. Huberto Mancini was lift and coasting on the last lap, so amazing. So Jovi hoping to get the 5-second penalty lifted. Salad not happy, and like I say, Salad not happy with himself. Matty ran out on the last two corners. Ran out of fuel, I'm guessing, and he wasn't checking fuel until his friend told him to have a look at his fuel. We're heading to Monza next week, and Jamie is already, just like your typical racing driver, Jamie is already focused on the next race of the championship, which will be in the Cathedral of Speed in Monza. So a little bit of back and forth going on between drivers defending their actions or otherwise. But yeah, like I say, really enjoyable race, and no good for my throat. I'm going to need to go and rest it before I'm commentating again. But thank you very much for staying with us. Thank you for watching the race. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel, you subscribe to my channel if you want to, but also that you like this video and leave us a positive sounding comment at least. We've been really grateful for everybody who's joined us and who will join us on the playback on demand version. Shout out to you guys, because you're the ones that really raise the view rate and keep us with a really strong position on YouTube. So thank you very much to everybody who spends the time to enjoy F11 with us. I will join you in this place again, same time next week, of course. So 7 p.m. Sunday night in the UK. You can convert from there for your local time, of course. My name's been Webbo, and I've done all this on my own tonight. Hopefully I'll have my commentary partner back with us for the next few races. But we've really appreciated watching the race with you. And until next time, everybody, I will catch you on the next race day.